Alright, welcome to the Avatar Golf Advanced Hole Design Tutorial. Alright, let's continue from the last tutorial. We'll make a new hole now. We'll call it Hole 2. Alright, there we are. Okay, now you can change many things in this menu. You can change the power of your hole, 3, 4, 5, the length, the width. I like to usually make it super wide. Also the offset, which is your tee starting position, and the wind, and you can change the direction like I was doing with the right stick. And even though you can choose your tee position from that menu, what I actually like to do, and which I'm going to do here, is I like to kind of mix up my tee positions. For example, on this hole, let's just make 2 tees, which you can do. You can actually delete a tee. So I'll delete the red tees and you'll just have the whites and the blues. As well, you can move the tees around, place them wherever you want. So I'll place 1 tee here, and I'll actually move the other one to the other side of the course. I find a lot of designers will do this just to give a bit of variety. I mean, it's up to you, but why not? Alright, now what you can do is you can actually build things over each other. For example, I'll actually build a fairway, and it will build it underneath my tee block. What this does is it's mostly just for aesthetics, but you can do this with any object. Like you can build, some tall grass and put a bunker inside it. You can put a green over some deep rough. You could put deep rough over your green, a little bit green. Like it's up to you. Like you can do a lot of things just by building things over top of each other, and I'll get into more into that later in this tutorial. And also, once again, when I'm building the water, I'm actually making sure all the lines are close together. I'll actually build 2 lines, like I just built 2 sharp lines there, which sometimes gives some developers, what happens is sometimes when you make a line too sharp, it will actually cause shooting lines to kind of go through your course, and I'll try to get those and fix those just for people who struggle with that. So once again, I'll try to be careful around here, and let's see, once I build this, to see if we get some problems, which I'm hoping for, to be honest. Alright, okay, there actually are some. I don't know if you can see it. There's some over at the top of the screen, and the best way to do it is you actually go into this menu here and you go to draw a wireframe, and you should be able to see where the lines are coming from. So okay, let's get in here. You see there's a couple lines shooting from one point there. What is usually the best option is in the wireframe mode. So sorry. Select your water, edit it, and actually grab that point that's sharp there and actually smooth it out. See, like this one is, let's just try to put it in the middle here and hope this works. Sometimes you have to play around with it, but okay, so it's still doing it. Let's try grabbing the point next to it, smooth it a little bit more, make sure we get it this time. I know some people this happens to. It's actually pretty easy to fix once you get it, but I know a lot of people just decide they don't use wireframe, they have to rebuild it all, and that really isn't necessary. You're better off just editing it. Alright, now let's actually go into building bridges. What I like to do is I like to find a spot where I like to put a bridge. I usually try to build the water around that first, but okay, let's say I want to build a bridge right here. It's a pretty good spot, the water's pretty close. So I'll put there, and now what I'll do is edit the water around the front of the bridge. Alright, that's pretty close. Alright, so now the bridge is pretty close to each side. I'll place it a little closer on the right. And now what you can do is you can actually edit the elevations and try to get it down a bit to fit the top of the bridge. And this is mostly trial and error. If you want to get perfect, you might have to spend a minute or 2 on it, but it's not too bad once you get the general idea for the heights. Alright, let's see. It's pretty close. It was a little low, but another edit or 2, that'd be perfect. That's only if you're a perfectionist, so for the tutorial I'll leave it as is. I'll just try building the water a little bit over it actually. Alright, that will do, because actually what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to build a cart path now. So go to the path tool at the bottom left, and let's build our first cart path. And cart paths, while I'm not going to do it, they can actually build over anything. You can build them right over your green without worrying about having any conflicts, and there's several different types you can choose. You can choose the width, if it will blend or not. I'll actually show you what blending is. For this one, I'll leave blending on, and the next one I won't, and I'll compare the differences after. Basically what blending is if you have blending on around the edges of your cart path, it will blend in with the texture, such as the rough texture, and it won't be quite as sharp. Okay, actually see, this is what you can do with cart paths. You can build them right over top of each other while building them. Don't know why you usually would, but there's a good example of it. Okay, so you can see how those were really thick, and these ones are actually blending a bit with the texture. And if you really want to see it, just play around with it, and you'll really notice it. Alright, let's just build a fairway or two, get this course underway. A pretty narrow fairway, but, well, it's from the blue tees, so it'll work. Alright, let's build a bunker. Actually, I'll get more into layering in just a minute. Actually, just a note, this video actually speeds up a little bit later on, so I'm going to try to slow it down as much as possible, but I'll probably have to explain a bit more later on. Alright, let's build some tall grass, and what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to build some things inside the tall grass to show you how deep layering could be. Like, let's build a bunker in the tall grass. Alright. And let's actually, just to show you what you can do, let's actually build some tall grass in the bunker, in the tall grass. Let's build another layer. That one might be too close, but... Okay, if you build things too close, you just have to move it away from the point that it's close to, like right there. Alright, so you can go crazy with that. I mean, there's a lot you can do. Let's build our green. Put some elevation in it. After we put the pins in, of course. Alright, let's grab elevation markers, just put it really quick. Alright, try to do a 3-tier green here. I think I built the first one's way too high, but we won't worry about for that. That's something you can always fix later on. I wouldn't recommend trying to go too high with the elevation from one side to the other, but... And also, what I like to do these little islands in the water. Just gives it some variety. Okay, this is where the video slowed down a bit, so let's record it. Actually, what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to build a beach. So what you got to do is you should lower the terrain where you want your beach. There's actually a beach tool at the bottom right. And what that is you actually use your left stick up and down to raise or lower how much sand's on the course. As you can see now, at the top left, there's some beach. And actually what you can do too with hole condition is what I just changed. You can actually change the complete look of the course, and you can actually edit each point individually and change it. For example, I can change the tall grass to tulips, for example. All you do is you edit a point and hit A, and there's many editing options based on what object it is. You can also rotate your sky, which will change the shadows of the course. Sometimes you want to highlight a certain aspect of your course, so it's good to play around with the lighting. Let's put a couple trees in. And play around with the lighting again. And actually, just because we're running out of time this video, I'm going to just make some things myself. And this is what it looked like, the end product. I added some trees in, added an object or two, some tall grass, little golf cart there at the back there. And also, if you notice on the left, I also have fairway on top of fairway. So just go crazy, and thank you very much for watching the tutorial and buying Avatar Golf. Thank you very much, guys.